Good evening, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to use my selfie stick because it just doesn't seem to be working the way that I want it to work. But I will keep on experimenting and see if I can find a good way to use it. I wanted to make another video, and I thought about this after I made my first video this morning, and I noticed I did get one view, so somebody viewed it that wasn't me, I believe. And I thought about my mother, because when I was living with my grandmother and I wasn't yet in school, and I remember being at a baseball game. It must have been a baseball game because I think it was in the summer and I think the weather was warm. So I think it was a baseball game. And I remember sitting on the bleachers with my mother. I don't know where my brother and my sister were, but I was sitting on the bleachers with my mother. And I asked my mother, I said, "Can I go home with you?" And so obviously I must have still had feelings for her at that point, because I did ask her, I said, "Can I go home with you?" And she just said, "You can't." And I don't know if it was because she was working or if it was because she was going to beauty school, but she said that I couldn't go home with her. And I was really disappointed. Or maybe I asked her, could I live with her? I either asked her if I could go home with her or I could live with her, because you got to remember, it was such a long time ago that it happened. It was around 60 years ago. So I must have asked her, "Can I live with you?" And she said, "You can't." And I was really disappointed. And I thought about that after I made the video about my grandfather spanking me. And I thought that was a really crucial memory that I wanted to include in my YouTube videos. So I didn't always have disdain for my mother. At that point, I wanted to live with her. I wanted to go home with her and live with her. And she said I couldn't. And I was really disappointed about that, because I wanted to live with her. And I feel it was important for me to actually make a video and say this, so my viewers will know I haven't always had this unresolvable feelings for my mother. At one time in my life, I did have good feelings for her. I mean, feelings good enough where I wanted to live with her and I wanted to be with her. And I can remember when we were in second and third grade going to school, and my mother would come in the weekends to see us. And I remember one weekend she didn't come see us because I think she was going to Galveston. I think that's where she was going, Galveston. And I remember being really disappointed that I wasn't going to see her that weekend. And I remember one time when we were living at our grandmother's, it was my sister and my birthday, and she had a birthday party for us, and she bought us lots and lots of presents. But that's partly her doing, because she has a problem where she likes to buy things for people. So that was partly she was satisfying her own problems where she likes to buy things. But by the time I got to second or third grade, I remember I had to go live with my grandmother. And I had a little handbag and a little pocketbook, and she had taken a picture of herself and put it in this pocketbook. And I remember going into my pocketbook and getting the picture out. She'd given me a picture of her. And I remember thinking she was ugly. So I must have been really mad at her. I must have been really mad at her to think that she was ugly. And I just felt the need to make a video and then just say the feelings that I have for my mother, whereas I wanted to live with her and she said that I couldn't. And then she had a birthday party for me and she had given me a picture. She'd taken a picture and put it in a little bag. And I remember I was sitting in the cafeteria in school waiting for the class to begin. And I remember looking at that picture thinking she was ugly. Well, my mother wasn't ugly. She was very beautiful. And but that's just how I felt about her at the time. So I think that concludes this video. I've said everything that I want to say. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I look forward to making another video for you to tell you about my experiences in the very near future.